Hey, thanks for watching. This is a life status update, just some general things that are going on with me, along with my musings on the question, do I ever think it's possible to feel good about money? And spoiler, the answer is, of course, yes, I do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing on this channel. But what specifically would it take for me to feel that way? I was listening to Ramit Sethi's podcast, the I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Couples sort of podcast that he does. I really enjoy it. I have to be in the right mood to listen to it because sometimes, even for me, especially for me, thinking about money, talking about money too much stresses me out. So I really have to be in a positive, motivated frame of mind to listen. And I was just listening now, and the question that Ramit asked one of the guests was, do you think it's possible to feel good about money? He has over $157,000 in unpaid student loan debt, and he was a high school teacher. His backstory was that his parents, his family promised, his grandmother promised that she'd pay for his loans, then her care sucked up the loan costs, or the money that was supposed to go toward paying his schooling, and now he's kind of in this place where he has these loans and the way to pay for them evaporated or was tied up in their house costs. Anyway, so the question was, with a huge loan, do you think it's possible to feel good about money? And he said yes. So that's kind of what motivated me to start thinking along those lines too. What would that take? So I'll put timestamps as well so you guys can just kind of fast forward through anything. Here is the general life update in what's going on. So day to day, I go into New Jersey and my mom helps out in watching the little one. And today, my husband decided to go into the office, so rather than doing like a full round trip, it takes him 4 hours to go in. Because sometimes he drops us off occasionally if he has to go in, and I also have to go in if I have client-facing meetings that I need full attention for. He will drop us off in Jersey, go to his office in Brooklyn, back through Manhattan to Brooklyn, and then at the end of his day, come back from Brooklyn through the city to New Jersey, pick us up, and then drop us, and then bring us all home. So it's a ridiculous amount of driving. It's close to 4.5 hours of driving in one day. So I kind of said that I would be fine staying here with the little one on my own since I don't have any client-facing meetings today. So I will just manage her, which I do normally Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's how it is. And I know that this is not uncommon for many working parents. Childcare is just ridiculous at this point. And I'm so thankful to have my mom to help watch the little one for 4 hours a day, Tuesday and Thursday, which allows me to get my work done. I also work in the morning and after she's gone to bed, so I do end up putting in my time for sure. She's actually on nap now and it's just about lunchtime at the moment, so I just kind of stay alert for anything that might be happening, and that's how that goes. In terms of like life, just day-to-day life, with the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, the childcare, that's something that it's a lot. It's huge. It's the most work I've ever done ever in my life. I find myself more tired, more exhausted than I've ever been, but happy because these are all things that I would do normally if I were living with my mom, as I did for many years. I would cook and I would clean, and now I just feel a lot more purposeful in doing them because I have a family to do them for and with. So that's kind of how I'm feeling in general. Plans. So plans for the future. At the end of the month, we're going back to Canada. We're going to Montreal. We decided to drive for several reasons. It's an 1.5-hour flight. The drive is about 6 hours, and the little one does not care for the car. So that's going to be a challenge, which I'm trying to even now think ahead. I'm like snacks, stuffed animals, activities, downloading playlists and things like that. She actually doesn't love the screen, which is great in the long term. She will look at it for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but that's it. She will not zone out like you see some kids, which is great. But it's a lot more work to keep her constantly entertained, which it is. And sometimes she'll just cry in the car, and that's fine too. She's a kid, that's what happens. She just doesn't like being restrained. She likes freedom of movement. Don't blame her. So we're going to Montreal for a reunion. My husband is an Ivy League grad, and he gets together with his college friends often, which is great. I think it's awesome that he has these friends, and they're just amazing, amazing people. Really chill, down to earth. Most of them have raised kids that are grown and gone. Which is good to kind of get their perspective. I've gotten some of the best advice in raising children ever from them, from his friends. One woman said her single aim, what she would tell her kids was, the more independent you are, the more successful I am. And I'm like, that's a quote. The more independent my children are, the more successful I am. You raise them to let them go, which is kind of heartbreaking. I can see it now. Because I'm like, oh, you miss that. I won't. I may miss that kind of when they not when they need you. It's wild. Like, that's a whole separate video. But anyway, I am raising my children to be independent, my child to be independent. I'm raising her not to need me. So that's the best piece of advice, single best piece of advice I got from one of his really good friends. So we're going to Montreal at the end of the month. And then we have trips planned every month through the end of the year. We're planning to go to Cape Cod in October. November's Thanksgiving, we go down to Delaware. December's Christmas, we go down to Delaware. So that's the rest of the year. And that is also exhausting. I'm happy to do it. It's just exhausting and requires planning. So that's how that is. It's actually also interesting with the trip to Montreal, because I was just watching the vlog of the trip that I took to Montreal in 2019, which is so cool. I mean, 5 years ago, was that 5 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. I went to Montreal for my birthday in October just because I wanted to go. I wanted to get away, and Montreal was quick. It's like a European city, 6 hours away. So I watched that back. I'm like, oh, it's neat to go back to Montreal with a husband and my child. So that's cool. A cool sort of bit of symmetry. So there's that. Yeah, so there's a lot coming up. Things that are making me, and health. So health updates. Because this is something that I have been kind of fine-tuning and tweaking for all of my life. My health journey and keeping myself in the best possible shape ever. It does not come naturally to me. I really have made the decision when I was sort of 16 that I was going to work on my health and eat healthy and be active because I want to feel and look my best. So I made that decision, and for me I've always kind of been a keto, high protein, low carb person. That's kind of they called it Atkins back in the day, and something else that I've always kind of done naturally, but now actually has a term, is intermittent fasted. So don't make me right now. So I went back to intermittent fasting. I was breastfeeding, so I didn't set out. I kind of took a break from intermittent fasting, but I'm returning to it now because it works the best for maintaining my weight, which is kind of my primary goal, and feeling good. So I will eat until about 10 p.m., sometimes 11 p.m., and then not eat again until 12. So a 13-hour fast, 11 or 12 the next day. Hello. So a 13-hour fast. I don't know if her nap is done. So that's worked really well as meal prepping healthy protein-rich foods. I'm using the slow cooker, especially as we're getting more into fall. And also just fresh veg and fruit, which takes work and energy and effort to chop and prepare, and it goes bad after like 2 days. Yeah, it does. Huh? So that's what's working for health. Okay, so the question, do I think it's possible to feel good about money? Yes, I absolutely do. Here are the things against me that would prevent me. I have a fairly modest income. I am an under-earner and come from a history of under-earners. This is not my destiny. This is my temporary current position. I have credit card debt and I have a student loan. I am also married to someone who is a high earner, which is good. He has his own financial journey, and he, I am sure, has things in his past that he wishes he could have done differently. Who doesn't when it comes to money, right? Everyone has something that they wish they could have done differently when it comes to money. So that's his journey. I do know that the way that we talk about money is to focus on the outcome. And for me, my number one goal is to be a professional traveler in, let's call it 20 years, maybe less. I want to be one of those couples that travels 6 times a year and that just love being around each other. When our kids are grown and gone, I want us to really enter into the I don't want to say the golden years, but to something that we've both built together. And that we enjoy each other's company enough and have the means to travel continually at the drop of a hat. Be like, let's pick up and go to Aruba. Let's pick up and go to Fiji. So that's the goal. That's what we're working towards. What would it take to get me to feel good? So that's the ultimate goal, to have assets that our money is working for our money and we're working for our own happiness and enjoyment, and being able to give and support causes that are dear to both of us, which, as you guys know, my story is something that I've continued to do all through my financial journey. That's not something that I want to start in the future. That's something that I'm doing right now. So what would it take to to feel like we're headed in the right direction. So just progress in the right direction, right? That would be satisfying. And for myself, that's what I'm doing right now, because that's all I control. I can control myself, and that's it. So these are the things that are going in my direction. Number one, I am good at managing money. I'm very good at managing money, the little that I have, right? Because I have to be. I have no choice. That's a choice that I choose to make. So that's number one. Number two is that I'm motivated. Number three is that I am willing to change. Those are the three things that are going for me, and those are the things that are moving me in the right direction. So that's the thing, is how to get on that direction toward feeling good about money is just making that incremental progress each day. And in regard to a relationship, and this is also a whole other issue about a relationship and working with a partner on money, is the number one thing is to connect. My number one goal is to stay married happily. And the number one thing is to connect about things that feel good for both of us. So, which for us is movies and music and kind of, I say pop culture. For him, it's sports. For me, it's pop culture, current events, things like that we really both enjoy. We both love watching and going to movies and talking about them and TV shows. So it's important for both of us to connect on those things. Traveling also is something we enjoy doing. So that's my answer to feeling good about money and what it will take. That's also my life update, and the little one is fully done with her nap now, so I will have to let you go after that. So that's my life status update and my talk about money. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching as always. Take care. Bye.